Joy News Prime.
Tonight on Joy News Prime, Attorney General highlights importance of the date change for the country's general elections as Parliament holds public forum on the issue. A member of Parliament's Subsidiary Legislation Committee is meanwhile warning the Electoral Commission's plan to abandon the no verification, no vote rule could prove chaotic. National Media Commission vows to get tough on media houses which allow intemperate language and inflammatory language on air as the 2016 elections draws near.
Business tonight, Ghana Gas Company says curtailing gas supply to VRA's Aboise thermal plant leading to current power supply inconsistencies in the country is a result of adverse weather conditions offshore the Jubilee field, but hopes the situation will improve by the end of the week.
A meeting between agitating staff of Ghana Civil Aviation Authority and Chief of Staff ends inconclusively as they insist on the return of their lands. Also in the bulletin, available across Europe on ABN television is sports, entertainment, feature. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Marietta Brewster-Appiah-Oppong, says the amendment of the Constitution to have the election date moved from December 7 to the first Monday of November will ensure there is sufficient time for a change in government in the event there is a runoff. The Attorney General was speaking at a public forum organized by the Parliamentary Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Joy News' Joseph Akable was at the forum and filed this report.
The forum aimed to offer political parties an opportunity to make inputs into the work of the committee. The governing NDC was represented by Johnson Esiedu Nketia, while the NPP was represented by the manager of the party's 2016 campaign, Peter McMenu. The PPP and NDP were also represented. Attorney General Marietta Brewster-Appiah-Oppong explained how crucial the amendment is.
Now, what the amendment does is to say that the general election of members of parliament shall be held on the first Monday of November before the expiration of the period specified in clause 1 of that article, and a session of parliament shall be appointed to commence within 14 days after the expiration of that period. Now, it is our view that once this amendment is effected, there will be sufficient time for a smooth transition, particularly in instances where there is a runoff election. So simply put, this amendment is to help all of us ensure a smooth transition.
The NPP raised concerns about the timing of the legislation with less than 6 months to the election and the readiness of the Electoral Commission to conduct the polls.
I want the Electoral Commission to tell us that the register for the upcoming elections will be ready within as stipulated in the CI 91, because minimum 21 days to the election, the law says they should give political parties certified copy of the register. The law CI 91 also says that 3 months after the voter registration, that is, a provisional register will be compiled and copies given to political parties before exhibition.
The NDC, meanwhile, says it is comfortable with the date change, but will also not mind if it remains unchanged.
Once it has generally been agreed by civil society, by political parties, and then before Electoral Commission was virtually convinced to adopt it, it shouldn't generate any controversy again. I must also add that as a political party, we don't have any hard and fast position which way this amendment goes at all. we are committed to the consensus position that has been adopted, or that we believe has been adopted by the nation.
The committee will be interacting with the Electoral Commission on Wednesday, July 13. For Joy News, Joseph Akable.
Well, the national chairman of the Progressive People's Party, Ni Alute Bruhammon, says he is unsure the 2016 election can be held on the November date being proposed by the Electoral Commission. Speaking to Francis Aban earlier on the polls, Mr. Bruhammon says although a change from December to November is laudable, modalities for its implementation have not been properly established by the EC. He says the Commission must step up to the challenge and show its preparedness to conduct the election in 3 months.
The new information about our compliance with the ECOWAS protocol is something that we need to look to see if we overlooked it, and therefore we need to get back on track on that. But considering that the Electoral Commission themselves have not told us that they are unable to hold the election on the November 7th date that they have worked all of their plans on, I think we have preempted that from the Electoral Commission. We have provided them with a way out of maybe a dilemma that they may have had. But now, backing out of the November 7th will not be their doing, but our doing. And I don't think that that is how we should have.
But why not? If the process is for everyone's benefit, why can't we all help out?
The point is that there is a Supreme Court direction to remove
the names 56,000 and any others
from the register. The Electoral Commission, based on the Supreme Court's order, had not said they will not be able to do that before the November 7th. But we are speculating that they may not be able to do that before November 7th, and so we should move that to December 8th. What is the guarantee that they will be able to do it before December 7th? There is no guarantee. And what if they come back to us now that we're asking them to provide us with a timetable, that they provide a timetable that takes us into January 7th?
Is that a stretch?
Well, we don't know. These are speculative times. We are all speculating. Because the mix is within a very short period of time, within the 6 months. It's less than 6 months now that they have to do all of these things that they had not planned before. So if it's going to take time for them to accomplish the task that Supreme Court is ordering, who knows if it might take us into February? Are we then going to skip the December 7th and the January 7th inauguration? We've now thrown a whole mix into this debate.
Well, Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West, Esla Owusu-Ekuful, is warning of possible chaos on Election Day over plans by the Electoral Commission to move away from the no verification, no vote provision in its regulations. The Commission has laid an election regulation instrument in Parliament to get backing for its proposal to allow manual voting. If passed by the House, it will mean persons with credible particulars to vote will be allowed to do so, even if rejected by the biometric machine on Election Day. Joy News is learning both parties kicked against the proposal at the pre-laying consideration, but the EC went ahead and adopted it. Esla Owusu-Ekuful, who is a member of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee, tells parliamentary correspondent Elton Broby the provision poses a threat to the country's democratic dispensation.
It's obvious that the Electoral Commission is adamant on setting that aside and making nonsense of the expense that we've incurred to provide verification machines in all polling stations. In fact, not one, but two, if that's what they have informed the House that they are going to do. What's the point in having verification machines if we're going to make it possible for voters who are not verified to vote? Even though I was distressed that in certain parts of the country, the rules were not allowed, but were relaxed, but were enforced strictly, while in other parts of the country, chiefs, the president, and others were able to intervene, and people were allowed to vote without being verified. The uneven application of the law. I think it would be better if, as a nation, we are taking the decision that, imperfect as it is the lesser of two evils, and it is better to disallow a few individuals the right to vote than to turn the entire protective system that we have spent a lot of money to procure, to disable it from functioning because we have provided this loophole in our law. It is bad, it is wrong, and I sincerely hope that after the elections, I would not have to say, I told you so. Keep this tape.
But for you, this will be withdrawn and a new one laid to address this concern.
Absolutely. I think this regulation 32.5 of CI 94 is bad. It is a disaster waiting to happen. We may wake up on the day after the election and rue the day. There will be incidents which will occur during the election based on this, which will create confusion in polling stations. And we may realize belatedly that we ought not to have done this. The money we have spent to procure 2 verification machines for each polling station by this clause has been rendered a waste of money. And I sincerely hope that I'm not proved right. But I think if it is at all possible, the Electoral Commission should withdraw this and relay it without 5. And let us go with a no verification, no vote. And see whether at the end of the day we will not have a more peaceful election than what I fear may happen if this clause is in the law.
Now, contrary to earlier reports, Joy News is also learning that the instrument contains punishments for electoral offences by EC officials on election day. According to the CI, staff or persons recruited by the EC could be sentenced to a jail term of 2 years or a fine if their conduct on election day is found inconsistent with the law. Eslowusu Kufu welcomed the provision.
Is this the only concern you have with the regulation?
So far, I am yet to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. But one concern which was raised, because we hadn't seen it, but I have checked and it is there, that elections officials who do not do the work that they are supposed to do,
punishment for them.
There is a punishment for them. So I am happy that Regulation 44 provides for elections offences. And 44.2 says that an election officer who is required to perform a function under these regulations but fails to perform that function commits an offence and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not more than 500 penalty units or to a term of imprisonment of not more than 2 years or to both.
And that's good.
For me, that's very good. So it's we do not have the 2012 scenario where elections presiding officers were supposed to sign declaration sheets and refused to do that, and there was nothing anybody could do to sanction them because the law did not provide for sanctions for them.
Well, let's stay on elections a while longer because the Inspector General of Police has appealed to the Chief Imam and leaders in the Muslim community to ensure the youth in Zongo communities do not engage in activities that would undermine the 2016 polls. The IGP made the call earlier Monday in Accra. My colleague Favor Nunu was there and he joins me in the studio. Now, Favor, what else has the IGP been saying on this issue?
Well, so essentially, it was a courtesy call that was quite unexpected for most of the aides of the Chief Imam. They said, well, they just had the call that was coming through. Essentially, it's been talking about the extent to which most youth, especially within Zongo communities, are actually engaged by political patterns to actually foment violence of a sort for their various political interests. So his call was that the Chief Imam should actually engage with the youth and then find ways of advising them so that in the running towards the proposed November polls, they won't be found victims or they won't be found as culprits engaging in all sorts of activities that may undermine the peace, security, and safety of Ghana in the running towards the poll. So we can listen to him.
We're going around to talk to the stakeholders that which we consider very essential in having a very successful election. And to us, as a management board, we know that the Chief Imam has a very critical role to play in galvanizing the followers of the Muslim faith, especially the youth, and channel their efforts into a very successful election. So that's why we are here first to congratulate him on the successful celebration of the Sarah, and secondly, to solicit his support, as we've done with all eminent Ghanaians so far, to make sure that the youth play a very useful part in ensuring a successful and peaceful election, as well as all followers of the Muslim faith.
All right, Favor, we also understand that the police administration is due to release a new list of recruits. Yes. Did the IGP say anything?
So he mentioned that come next week, Monday, that's on the 18th, the police is going to bring out names of people who have actually been shortlisted for the police service, and that's going to be happening.
So shortlisted?
Shortlisted. And it will be published on the police website. So it's quite transparent. We know how people engage in various underhand dealings, some persons who have not been listed, and then they find ways of getting themselves in. So with this one, the innovation is that it's out there, it's online, and therefore you cannot really change anything. It's quite easy for everyone to understand the processes. We can listen to that now.
I've started, and we are going on stages, one stage to each stage, and then we are now on I'll say the first stage or second stage, where we have to see and feel that those who apply, that they are really fiscally and academically fit by the standards they use to queue in on the computers. So that's the stage. So all those who are qualified are being invited to the various centers nearest them, because they don't inconvenience anybody financially. So I think today's week the process will start, and I think yes, it is on the how they call it, barring any other distance, unforeseen circumstances, on the 18th that to proceed or start, and then they are going to the nearest centers near them. And it's also on the website for everybody to browse and see where it's being posted. And I think the regional commands also have the names. So that's exactly what we are making it as transparent as possible. Everyone who has been, certified, qualified for the next stage will definitely be called for the next stage.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break at this point, but we have more stories coming up. Don't go away. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. The chief priest of the Kweku Free Shrine at Nwase in the Wenchi municipality of the Brong Ahafo region, Nana Kofi-Drobo IV, has advised the New Patriotic Party to unite and ensure that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wins this year's general election. Nana Kofi-Drobo believes if the NPP fails to settle its differences for the general election, it will be difficult for the party to win any election in the future. He is therefore encouraging the party to reconcile differences in order to have a formidable front ahead of the general elections. He was speaking during a visit by the NPP flag bearer, who is currently on a tour of the Brong Ahafo region.
The chief priest, Nana Kofi-Drobo IV, made the comments when Nana Akufo-Addo and his campaign team visited the Kweku Free Shrine to solicit support as part of their tour of the Brong Ahafo region.
Party is for everyone. Nana will come when his time comes. When his tenure ends, he will step down for another to take over. All you need is unity. He will be able to unite all the regions, but without that, they won't achieve much. If you all unite as one people, think as one, do everything as one, by the grace of God, they will be able to win the seat. If they are not able to unite to help him win the seat, only one person will remain on the seat forever.
During a mini deba at Wenchi, Nana Akufo-Addo said he was not happy because the people of Wenchi did not vote for him in the 2012 general election, even though Wenchi is regarded as one of the ancestral homes of the NPP. Nana Akufo-Addo therefore implored the electorate to vote out the NDC and give him a chance for a better management of the country.
I was very unhappy when you didn't vote for me during the last elections. I urge you to vote for me so it does not happen again this year. The problems we are facing, the robbery and poverty. Ghana's laws is giving us the mandate this year to vote to end it all. And that's the task we have ahead of us.
Nana Akufo-Addo stated that the NPP is not seeking power to lord it over Ghanaians, rather to formulate policies that will reduce the rate of youth unemployment.
Because we have good intent towards you, we have to vote the current government out. We want to be in power, not for mismanagement and misuse, but we intend to use the opportunity to help the country progress, especially by formulating policies that will help create more jobs.
Nana Akufo-Addo and his team also visited the people of Inchira and Subinsu, all in the Wenchi municipality, with a message of one district, one factory.
Well, President John Mahama has reaffirmed the commitment of his administration to give a facelift to the Bolgatanga-Bawku Road, which has been in bad shape for years. The president, who is on a two-day visit in the region, is part of his accounting to the people, was speaking at the sword-cutting ceremony for the construction of the road at Tele near Zebela in the Bawku West district of the region. We're joined on the line now by Albert Sorry. He's our regional correspondent, and he's going to be telling us a bit more about the president's tour there. Good evening to you, Albert. What else can you tell us about the president's visit to the Upper East region?
Israel, the president will be in the Upper East region for the next 2 days, that is today and tomorrow. And today he cut the sword for the construction of the Bolgatanga, Bawku, and then Polmakum Road. The road goes all the way from Bolgatanga to Polmakum in the Kusigat district. And this is the road that has been a major concern for the people of the Upper East region. And each time they get the opportunity, they complain about the road to the president. He's made a number of promises in the past to construct this road. And so today he assured the people of the Upper East region that this road will finally be constructed because they have the funds available for it. Now, the contract has been awarded to the Brazilian company, and they will be doing the construction. It is expected to last the next 910 days. As the president said, he assured the people that this time round the road is going to be constructed because the funds are available. He's also been talking about the Bawku water system at Misiga, where he talked about the fact that the people of Bawku have been suffering because of water for a very long time. And that project is also to finally put an end to their sufferings. He's cut short also for the construction of the Tamling Dam as well today. Tomorrow he's expected to move to the Busa North and South areas, where he will be looking at the rice valleys there and also cutting sod for the construction of another road in that area as well.
All right, thank you very much, Albert Sorry, bringing us up to date on the president's visit to the Upper East region. Elsewhere, health workers at the Peki Government Hospital in the South Dai district of the Volta region are handicapped in providing accident victims with an effective emergency health care. This is because the facility lacks a well-equipped and befitting emergency unit. Currently, hospital authorities have converted a section of the mill ward of the facility into an emergency unit to help attend to accident victims.
Peki Government Hospital is the first major health facility located on the Eastern Corridor Road in the Volta region. Due to its proximity to the busy road, all motor accidents on the Isukuma-Kpeve stretch are reported to the facility. The hospital receives approximately about 13 accident cases monthly, out of which 3 are major cases. But the absence of an emergency unit makes it difficult for health officials to give accident victims an effective emergency medical care. Currently, a section of the male ward of the facility has been converted into an emergency unit to treat accident victims rushed there. The medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Julius Oklu, stressed the need for a well-equipped emergency unit to enhance healthcare delivery at the facility.
As you journey on the Eastern Corridor Road, the only hospital on the way, apart from Home Hospital, is Peki Government Hospital. And the road is so good that we have frequent accidents on the road. And we don't have any emergency unit in the hospital. So when we have cases, we put all together, adults and children as well, and that becomes a problem for us. So we would like you to help us have an emergency unit which can address this problem. We also have problems with other equipment. Our X-ray machine breaks down frequently, and currently we haven't got any X-ray machine. We haven't got any ultrasound machine. That's another problem. We have only one autoclave.
He was also unhappy about the delay in the payment of NHIS claims, which he says is affecting day-to-day administration of the hospital.
The problem is with the inflow of funds from the National Health Insurance. So what we do is we try to reduce our capital expenditure. We don't invest much on structures, building structures, but we try to maintain the ones which we have. We try to make sure that we take our monies. In fact, if people abscond, we don't allow people to abscond, so the absconded cases reduce, and we try to use our money judiciously so that we can get the work going. That is how we manage to mitigate it.
In the meantime, a group of Peki citizens under the umbrella Peki Again has presented 4 surgical beds and medical consumables to the hospital. The presentation is part of the activities earmarked to launch the group. Founder of the group, Theophilus Afenya, said their core objective is to make both human and material resources available to provide development in the areas of health, education and sanitation to restore Peki's image.
We are also looking at equity development so that we know the hospital will also play its role, and then we also have a role to play, so that then that development should be more serious if we should be going for it, so that we can also help the hospital through internally generated funds. That is our outlook. Our outlook is to make sure the hospital gets better, the schools get better. We are also looking at helping the area with project financing, because most of us are into finance, and also do infrastructure development. All these things are drawn up on our programs.
The group also undertook a medical screening exercise for the aged. Fred Kwame Asari's report for Joy News.
Immediately after the break, though, we bring you business news. Stay tuned. Time for business, and Emmanuel Labajuya is here with it all. Good evening to you, Emmanuel.
Good evening, Izzy. How are you?
I'm fine, coming from a pretty restful and interesting weekend.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
I had it a tough time.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to share with you now.
All right, that's fine.
But Izzy, what do you know about the turret bearing systems here and there? Because it looks like we're having problems here and there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that problem with so we're all aware of the turret problem that's been on the FPS, as a result of which it slowed down production for a while. So what we're told now is that the positioning of the vessel, of the FPSO, against the tanks that would offload it has become encumbered because of the weather. The pretty strong winds out there. I'm told that sometime last week, Talo actually couldn't land one of the choppers that goes onto the FPS because of the bad weather.
The bad weather, okay.
And as a result, they also fear that the connection to the tanker, because of the winds, there, it may break something and spill crude oil. So they've had to slow down production as a
Maybe
result.
we should brace ourselves for more.
They're hoping that they will get over the problem sometime
by the end
of the week.
Right.
So we're hopeful that things will get better.
So let's keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Then.
All right, but give us the business news.
All right, thank you very much for joining me on Business. And Communications Manager of Ghana Gas Company, Alfred Ogbami, says the current reduction in gas supply from the Twabu processing plant to VRA's power plant at Aboise is a result of adverse weather conditions upstream the Jubilee field, which has made delivery of gas from the FPSO very difficult. Gas supply to VRA has currently been curtailed from 87 million standard cubic feet a day to 46.7 million, a situation affecting regular power supply throughout the country. In an interview with Joy Business, Alfred Ogbami says the situation is expected to normalize by the end of this week when favorable weather conditions are expected on the Jubilee field.
We are a midstream company receiving gas from the upstream supplier, which is the Tullow and Partners, the partners of the Jubilee field. As you well know, the Jubilee field is operated by the Jubilee field partners, which is led by Tullow. They are the lead operator. And they informed us a couple of days ago that due to adverse weather conditions on the Jubilee field, they would have to reduce gas supply to us. So there's been a dip in supply from the maximum 85 million standard cubic feet of gas a day to 46.7 MSCF. As a result, yes, from 85 million SCF to 46.7 million SCF from the FPSO. Consequently, we're equally giving 46 million SCF to the VRA. The 0.7 is used in the generation of LPG, condensate, and the running of the plant. So indeed, we are receiving what we are getting. We are passing on what we are getting to the VRA. We were given a timeline of about a week. That's beginning the 7th to the 14th. So we're expecting that by weekend, the situation should or would have been resolved. That's the information we have from Tullow and Partners. And our expectation is that by weekend, it would have resolved whatever challenges they're facing and resume optimum supply within the current situation.
Away from that, Ghana may face some challenges in initiating processes to sign the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, with the European Union. This is because the EU is threatening to take Ghana out of the list of countries that qualify for initial negotiations on the agreement. Why and what way out? George Rafik tells us more.
Persons close to negotiations with Ghana on the Economic Partnership Agreement, the EPA in Brussels, Belgium, says the threat is being influenced by delays by the Ghanaian government in taking the necessary steps to sign the Economic Partnership Agreement before October 1 this year. Ghana is currently part of 8 countries on the Market Access Regulation, a list of middle-income countries that have the right to negotiate with the European Union on the pact. However, the European Union is threatening to take Ghana out of this list. Sources say the EU even wants a decision to be taken by August this year as to whether Ghana will indeed sign the agreement or not. Signing the Economic Partnership Agreement will ensure that exporters in Ghana will have access to the EU market quota-free, duty-free. Otherwise, their exports will attract high duties from October 1. Some firms in the country that export to the European Union have told Joy Business that they might be forced to lay off their workers if Ghana fails to sign the Economic Partnership Agreement.
Thank you very much for joining us, and do join us again same time tomorrow for more business items. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. Good evening.
Well, moving on to some breaking news coming through just about now. The Kumasi Traditional Council has issued a one-week ultimatum to government to sack the embattled mayor of Kumasi, Kojo Bonsu, or face his wrath. Mr. Bonsu apologized to Asante Hino Tumfor Setutu II and the Kumasi Traditional Council for refusing to recognize the chief representing the council on the Kumasi Central Market Development Project Committee. At an emergency meeting on Monday, the chiefs unanimously stated that they can no longer work with Mr. Bonsu despite his apology. Let's get on the line and speak to Love FM's Erastus Asare Donko for more on this. Good evening to you, Erastus. Do we know why the chiefs are insistent on government firing Kojo Bonsu in spite of his apology?
Well, in the course of the week, beginning Monday, we had information that indeed the various government appointees and other people have been trying to apologize on behalf of the mayor of Kumasi, Kojo Bonsu, and that it's possible the chiefs might invite him before them to begin a process of accusing them. But then that information seems to the contrary, with a press conference organized after a crunch meeting today by the Kumasi Traditional Council. Now, they are saying, and you had the Sapohene back and forth speaking today, he is saying that they performed some rites last week where they slaughtered a ram on the head of Kojo Bonsu. And so, if it were to be in the olden times, when he disrespects the Twin Force Major Chief, he would have died. That means they would have slaughtered him, in other words. And so that slaughtering of a ram is a symbolic reaction to that. And so how can somebody they have in spirit killed, be resurrected? So there's no way they are going to accept Kojo Bonsu back into their fold as mayor of Kumasi. And they are giving the president a 1-week ultimatum to sack him, or they are going to, react violently.
Now, Erastus, with this latest development, is there no way at all that, government could make amends for Kojo Bonsu to be retained as a mayor of Kumasi?
In fact, from the way it's going now and the way the chiefs are speaking, it looks as if it's a dead end, because those who understand tradition, that is the Ashanti tradition, and I explain it as it is, indicate that the Amwamahine is the major chief of the Twin Force. They call him the Twin Force Brempohine, meaning he's regarded as a great chief within the ranks of the Kumasi Traditional Council, very close to the Twin Force. So if you disrespect him, it's like you disrespected the king. And in the olden days, if you do that, the penalty is death. And they have performed that ritual. They cannot sit and take it back. And so it looks like a dead end from the side of the chief. And they went ahead. The Ankobi Ahine is saying, in other words, that that house where the assembly is, the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly building itself, belongs to the Asafohine's wife, for example. So if the president does not sack Kojo Bonsu, then he should leave the KNA house for them because it's for the chief. Then you should take another house, put Kojo Bonsu in there, and work with him. That's none of their business. But then it means that you should choose either between Kojo Bonsu or the Kumasi Traditional Council.
We're taking a break. At this point, we'll be back with entertainment.
Entertainment news is brought to you by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
All right, time for entertainment. It's Miss G, yeah.
And I like the fact that, we've got some colors going on for both of us.
Yeah, there's some gold.
So it's a yellowish Monday for us. And it's great to be back from the weekend. It was a fantastic weekend because DKB had or took his point of view or had the time to, let us know his point of view.
It looked like it went great.
It went really well. And for those of you, including Israelite, who couldn't make it, here are some highlights from DKB's point of view.
Hallelujah. In the Barracuda, smoking Buddha and Fallujah. See the vibe. Hey, Charlie, I manifest all these signs. Manifest on this side. Manifest Bagupada Madina. And then he asked them, Charlie, you see, what the track, you they understand the race? Boga. You want go school. See, the system is so hard that even people on funeral posters are happier than those alive. You could see, gone too soon. Obituary.
Some boys always crying about enemies. Sing that song. Okay. Then there's a barrier. When will someone cheer up? D-Black is always over satisfying the studio. That's how about who they be. D-Black come and record. No. Frankie Stone, he can never rap without sound effect. Who shall get on and I'll treat and I'll play? It's not simple. Michelle get let me kill a few, let me kill a few, let me go a shoe, let me see the pool. I forgot to do. Why? Frankie Stone, why? Otami Bambi speaks English like his eyes blocked in his mouth. Otami Bambi, how is the album? The album is doing good.
You're saying we want shoe. What's that?
Okay, so there was this comedian who also was part of the people who performed. He's called McDon. Now, the guy was so boring that all people could remember him for was his shoes. And so that's how come, when they were mentioning their social media handles and all that, they forgot him. And so everybody started screaming, we want shoe, because that's all you can remember. And everybody kept talking about the shoe man. His stories were just not making sense, you know. You couldn't find any joke in anything he told.
Well, yeah, people were excited about him.
No, he got an away. You know, he got people say away and all that, but people just won't forget that there was one comedian who had shiny shoes, glittering shoes, but couldn't, you know, make them laugh. But here are some reviews from DKB's point of view.
Well, how did you see this?
Well, it went well. I didn't come too early, but I enjoyed every bit of it. And I like the way he ended and said that they said we were not funny. At least he's been able to make the people inside their laugh. Just is what we need. Now, DKB has opened our eyes that it's very possible for us to have a comedy show that will have Ghanaians and Ghanaians only. We don't need to rely on Nigeria. No disrespect to Nigerians, but it's about time, you know, we begin to appreciate our own. These are things that we can relate with happening in our own country. We don't need, you say, or something that we don't really, we can't appreciate because we are not in Warri, we are in Accra. So this is like ours, and this is all we need. And I'm very, very grateful to the number of people who showed up here. We just need the support. That's all we need. I
mean, it was fantastic, very, very fantastic. For the first time, I've enjoyed from head to toe. I never slept on anything. It was,
you never also normally you sleep around a bit.
Yeah, when it's boring, but this time around from head to toe. So that's my comedian, Hogan. Man, he killed it. And then the man with the shoe, the shoe. No, I want to pay that guy on my shoe. I really want to pay that guy to come on my show. Trust me.
Well, do you think comedy in Ghana has grown to a level?
I mean, it has taken over now. I mean, they've done a lot of research and they've really come on a point, and it's so good. It's so.
I had been appreciating our comedians because I personally know 3 of them in there. So for me, what I would say to Ghanaians is that they should now appreciate Hey, I laughed non-stop. I mean, we all laughed non-stop. Even the shoe guy made us laugh with that. Even though, you know, it was non-stop laugh. Whether it was joke, fashion, your sense, everything was just laughter. There was not a minute of silence in that room over there. So for me, this is the best.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Class. That was awesome. It was class. It's about time. And I'm very proud that, you know, Ghanaian comedy has gotten up to this stage. I just wish they would stop branding it Jimmy. If comedy is not Jimmy, it's Nsenkwa. Jimmy, it's foolishness. This is not foolishness. This is creativity to make you laugh.
We laugh a lot. We laugh about everything. So this one was awesome, and I'm sure anytime we hear DKB or any of the guys, you know, putting up a show, I'm sure we'll be there.
I'm so glad finally we can say yes, our comedians have come of age. DKB, I mean, you watch Nigerians Basket Mount, and you this is someone we know. We saw him mature and grow from Vaza, from Romanos and Oscar and all that. But this is 1 hour more than punchline after punchline,
Off the chain, off the hook. The man has just taken GH comedy to another level, man. I'm blown away.
With what I've seen DKB do tonight and where I saw him started from, I can see GH comedy on the next level right now. And I see other Ghanaian comedians do it by themselves as well, and I can see them get to this height. All I'm saying is they shouldn't let this be the only one that's happening. We need more comedians do their own shows.
I think this is one, hell of a great show that I think I would forever see it coming. Like each year, I'll definitely be here to support the brother because
this is something that is mind blowing. Like we normally see this on TV, like a short comedy, and most times, let's say you see the same act opening shows for them, but he handled the whole thing himself.
I expect it to be even better next year.
Oh,
it was just
so it should be a yearly thing, right?
It should be. Well, maybe as often as he can do it, because people need to laugh. It's healthy.
Okay.
Right, so I heard somebody say that he probably should be doing it every year. I think he should be doing it as often as he can.
As often as he can, yes.
If you can do it every quarter, or, well, if you could do it twice every year.
And get his friends, to come along with him. It'll be great, And gradually people will begin to buy in because you can tell that, yes, people said, let's go give him a try. And he proved to us that, yes, we can do it.
It would be lovely to have something like this, just like Uncle Ebu does his plays every quarter. It would be great to have it.
That's true. That's true. So congratulations to DKB. Nobody is going to ask for their money back, of course.
And we say a big thank you to the sponsors who also supported him because without the sponsors, he couldn't have pulled it off.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you to the sponsors. Keep supporting him.
All right, so we are back this week, and it looks like we're still going to be talking a bit more about the beef before long. But Gemini, who released Ceasefire, says yes, he cashed in. It was a time for him to do this because he had sent them verses to sing,
put together for him,
and they refused. And so he felt like it was an opportunity for Ghanaians to also hear him.
Talk about seeing, believing you witness. You talk about leading the business. What about
could have been my strategy, but no, I wasn't looking for that to shine. As a good rapper, they always recognize you, but maybe this is God's time. It's like, no, this is the time they have to recognize you. And Sarkodie has an attacking style. He tackles issues. So if you listen to him, if you listen to my rap, you think I'm very emotional. People think I had a problem but that's me. My style, I rap aggressively, I attack it. But Sarkodie tackles issues. Manifest is cool, calm, intellect. You have to think to get it. So they both went in, especially the response, which was Sarkodie. And I felt like, no man, this can't go on. So I have to address it. I won't come and tell you that because it's good for them, it's good for their business. It's just like politics. You might think two political candidates of different parties are not friends. They drink tea together, but when they come on TV, so it's all strategized. Don't be emotionally attached. I know fans get emotionally attached. I know, but that's as far as it can go. It won't get physical. No.
The fortunate thing is I pray for my Lord to restore me again from this pain that's incurable.
Okay.
All right, so that's it. So any political party looking for someone to do a song for them, let me video and I'll take my 10%. That's the most important one. Anyway, that's it for entertainment today, Israel. It's been great, hanging out with you. I'm back tomorrow with some more.
Well, thank you very much. It's been great having you too. Up next, we'll bring you sports. It's time for sports. Senator Bediako is here. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Israel.
Right,
Portugal are champions of 2016.
We're coming from a weekend where Portugal they were able to win.
Believed in them, and not by any stretch of imagination could anybody have thought they will make it out of their group. Not to talk about reaching the 1/16th, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, unbeaten host nation France,
yeah,
in the grand finale. So congratulations to Portugal.
Especially when they had to do it without Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes. And in sports, what counts in sports is not the victory, but the magnificence of the struggle. And that struggle on Sunday at the Parc des Princes was absolutely magnificent.
It was. I mean, you have to give it to them. Anyway, and then on the local front, Accra Asafo.
Yes, Accra Asafo, they drew 0-0 with Dreams FC. Aduana Stars, sorry.
Yeah.
And their coach says he's not under pressure to perform.
Is he sure?
And he says he's playing tiki-taka. So let's see how things pan out for
Okay,
Accra
you take it away.
Okay, so it's not time for sports here on Joy News Prime. Hello from me, Asari Bediako. Let's start from the Ghana Premier League. And after Hearts of Oak drew goalless with the Aduana Stars in Week 18 action, Hearts of Oak coach says that he is not under pressure to perform. Now, the coach from Portugal is saying that he has not been given a 5-match ultimatum to save his job.
No, I can tell you that it's 500% lie. No ultimatum, no any word from the board saying that I have 5 games to do this or that, or have no. They give me 500% support. We are all together to try to achieve something. We are doing a project together. I can't perform magic in 2 weeks, understand? But I will get there.
Let's stay in the Ghana Premier League a little longer because head coach of Aduana Stars, Choiba Aristika, believes 4 teams, including his side, the Aduana Stars, will fight for the title this season.
Now it's very sure. Four teams like take the league. I think Hearts of Oak like take the league. Kotoko is up. Walal Star, you see, have good teams stay up. Aduana Star is coming step by step from the back, and now is coming for the 4th position. Another 2 teams I see here in the Ghana is very strong, and I think this 12th game is very hard from all the team in the top. All the team is the 1st position or the 4 or the 5 is possible collect the league. About is play good football, and everybody like this is the football. Everybody like take the league. And one team in this moment, Aduana Star, is ready for fighting this 12th game for possible finish the league and champion in the Ghana. I don't know.
And that was the sports here on Joy News Prime. My name is Asari Bediako. You can go to our website, myjoyonline.com/sports. You can also follow us on Twitter at Joy Sports GH. On Facebook, find us at Joy Sports. My name is Asari Bediako. Thanks for watching Joy News Prime. Have a fantastic Monday evening.
My name is Israel Lai. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a good evening.
This is Joy News Prime.